Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So about 8 hours ago, I got this comment here. Hey, would you mind emailing me the spreadsheet? It said I'd pay off an 11K card in 6 months, but that's so fast. Feels like I'm doing something wrong. And it feels like that, doesn't it? Because for a lot of people, paying off an $11,000 card in 6 months is a little bit bonkers. But here's the thing: if you know Velocity Banking, it makes it seem so easy. And I'm going to share with you something right here. So I took the screenshot of a YouTube video where a YouTuber says how I paid off $10,000 of credit card debt in 6 months, and it got 391,000 views. And this is about 4 years ago. And so if this kind of video gets this many views, then that resonates with the audience, right? So like $10,000 of credit card, mind blowing. But here's the thing: we do this all the time with our Velocity Banking videos because it's so easy, right? And I created like a sample spreadsheet of what I think would be similar to that situation. So if you kind of take a look here, I just have two credit cards, 11,000. We got a mortgage, and we got other stuff, $2,000, which is I think decent for expenses. And we got plenty of we got good leftover savings. So in this case, when you have just credit card debt versus savings, you can even do velocity banking with just your credit card. You don't need a personal line of credit. Although I might recommend, just having a little bit left over just for things that we can't really pay off with the credit card. Like I can't pay credit card one with credit card two, which is why, maybe one of the things I talk about is like banks only lend you money when you don't need it, right? And some people complain on my channel, like, who has a 15 grand, personal line of credit laying around? Not most of us do. And that's right. And because most people are broke, right? And so one of the most important things is that, metaphorically learn how to drive the car before you actually drive it. And so, if you're like me, I got like a $15,000 line of credit kind of laying around, right? Oh, I mean, it's too big. Yeah, $15,000. So this is like kind of like the latest snapshot, one of the latest snapshots of my personal. I just have it laying around 15 grand, and we'll just assume that we're going to use this for our velocity banking simulation, right? So two credit cards, $11,000. What do we do? Well, let me just kind of copy most of this information. We assume two things, right? Um, Same income, right? And zero savings, right? In this situation, a lot of people, if they have savings, we just tend to keep it in our savings account because that's what quote feels good, right? That's what quote feels good. But if you got credit card debt at like 30, 27%, and your savings account is growing maybe four at max with those high yield savings accounts, and then if it's at a big bank, it's like 0.1%, you're kind of losing. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing: what we're gonna do is just do a simple debt transfer. Again, this is just a simple scenario of $11,000. Let's see how fast we can pay it off, right? $11,000 feels so fast. Feels like you're doing something wrong, right? Because the traditional way of banking, I don't know. Should I say it's wrong? I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for that. But when you pay it off too fast, then it feels like you're doing something wrong, right? And who knows? Maybe you can make another YouTube video kind of like this and get 300,000, almost 400,000 views about paying off $10,000 credit card debt in 6 months. And I paid $58,000 on my mortgage in 12 months, So, oh, here's the thing. I actually showed, in random side story, I'll go really quick, Fantastic's video to the people that I know where I learned velocity banking from. So, like, I learned in 2017, and I said, hey, like, if we had just kept on teaching velocity banking in 2017 on the internet, none of us would have to like, because I told them like, Fantastic makes like 50 grand a month, and then I told like, who cares about real estate investing if you just teach velocity banking and make 50 grand a month, right? All right, so back to my point. I invest in real estate and I gotta find more deals, but I just thought that was funny. Okay, so now what are we going to do, right? So we have a budget, we have a line of credit, we got a 15 grand line of credit that we're going to use as our main operating account. And ideally, we wouldn't even be in this situation if we knew velocity banking from the start. But let's just assume, hey, I got a 15 grand line of credit laying around, and I've just been using these credit cards, kind of, I just have debts left over. Now I got to pay them off. So let's go ahead and do a simple balance transfer. Well, not balance transfer, debt transfer, because that's balance transfer. I think is reserved for credit cards. And then guess what? These payments go to zero, right? And so now we increased our cash flow. So even though we have zero savings, we got a cash flow of 2,300. So we were at a pretty good start to begin with, but now we've kind of optimized, fully optimized that cash flow number. And then let's go ahead and figure out how long it takes to pay off this $11,000 credit card debt. Again, same formulas that I do every single video. Next month, next balance, which is the previous month's balance, plus the previous month's interest. Whoopsie. I always mix up G and H. All right, minus this cash flow number right here, 2,300. Okay. And then what you do is you take the average daily balance, right? And you can estimate this with the average function, multiply it by the interest rate, which is 0.15, and then divide by 12. 0.15 and divide by 12. Okay, so now all you do is copy and paste, and then it's like, whoa, like this took, I guess you could count month zero as, I don't know, because if it's the starting balance of month zero, then this will be month one, right? So about 5 months, right? So 5 months, 11 grand, and let's say like we increase this number, I don't know what, 2,200 of expenses, 2,200, right? Oh man, I'm really surprised it was only 5 months, so we blew this out of the water. And then even if our expenses are 2,200, we just got to modify that cash flow to 2,100, right? And then, right, and it's still, now it's just like 1 month, now 6 months, right? So that cash flow number is the most important. I'm going to reset this back to 2,000 right here, and let's reset it back to 2,300, right? So 2,300 is our cash flow. Whoopsie. And 5 months, we paid it off in 5 months, and look how easy that was. 5 months, 11K. So your scenario was probably similar to this, but I mean, the credit cards are the easiest to tackle with velocity banking. Now with the mortgage, a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, you ain't doing anything wrong. It's just the banks and society have been teaching you a certain way, and that, it's kind of like with like public school. Like, I remember when I was a school teacher, I could just immediately tell that the way we were teaching kids was wrong. And then you come out of that school system and you end up struggling. It's like, why am I struggling? It's probably because society taught you wrong, right? So look how easy that was. And here's the thing, go ahead and make your own YouTube video. That's going to get 300,000 subs or views, not subs. And then here's the thing, the scenario that I love the most is actually the 10 credit card scenario, right? So if you never seen like the 10 credit card scenario, which I kind of do a lot nowadays, I call it like the extreme stress test, where you had like 10 credit cards, it's $167,000 of credit card debt, and you just do what I talked about, like dump all this 167 into that line of credit. Look how much this number gets multiplied. It's like 16x, right? So 355 into 5,700, and you didn't make more money, right? Here you're struggling, here you're winning, right? And let me just calculate that. 5701.35 divided by 355.52, and you could see that's a 16x multiplier from your little itty bitty savings to your cash flow, because you're not going to have any savings when you do velocity banking. Because why? What's the strategy? You dump your entire paycheck into this line of credit, take your expenses out, and then after every single month, the balance is going to go down by your cash flow, and then you just add a little bit of interest at the end, right? You got to pay that interest every single month, and then you're good. And then now, bam, 5 months. Does it seem illegal? Do you think you're going to go to jail by paying the bank too quickly? I don't know. I hope not. Maybe they'll start putting pre-penalties for, well, they kind of do that in some loans, right? Um, but I don't think credit cards they can do the pre-penalty. I think that'd be really weird if they did. But all right, well, this is Crane Atlanta mentorship. So just want to show, hey, like 11K credit card debt, no problem. Like, and your debt is also proportional to your income, right? So if you have $10,000 of income, they'll be able to give you 167,000 of credit card debt, and if you pay that off and by using the strategy, game changer, right? Who like I even met a lady, right? She was like doing financially well or a great income, and she told me I have $60,000 of credit card debt, and then for whatever reason she freaked out. And I was like, "You've watched the videos," and that's the weird part. I'll tell you what's the strangest thing is the one of the things that I'm going to talk about, or maybe I have talked about, is that the way you handle your money, a prerequisite is like having the right mindset, right? Like, how like there's those stories about like the chosen one, and they only like the master sword or the special legendary sword can only work in the hands of the chosen one, because if it's like goes to anybody else, then like it's not gonna work. You ever hear those stories? It's like always like a theme in fantasy. I kind of think about that way in money too. Like if you don't have the right mindset, then it's not, for whatever reason, if you the way that you spend your money has like a certain essence and energy towards it. So if you're emotional and fearful with your money, that's going to be the same with how your debts are tackled as well, even if you know velocity banking, right? It's crazy how that works. There's like a spiritual element towards how you spend your money. All right. Well, so this is a Crane Atlanta mentorship. So um, if you're interested in joining our group, I'm kind of reworking the Google form, but you could still click it. You'll probably get an in progress message error, so you can't submit anything. But check back and free feel to email me if you have any questions, I guess. And you could look at the email address in the About section of the YouTube page. Other than that, have a great day, and we'll speak next time.